It's time for grassroots racers and fans to gather around. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. Thank you for joining us for our 38th season, America's longest running weekly motorsports program held in front of a live audience. Tell your friends they still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a wonderful evening to spend with you on this Racing Roundup Show program. It's our 38th season. July 5th is already here. Hope you had a great celebratory July 4th. I know there's a lot of racing going on in the area. We got you covered on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show with our guests and our coverage with our team. We're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery tonight, 81st and Greenfield, on the corner of South 81st and Greenfield, across from the Milwaukee Mile. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We got great race cars out front, and we want to tell you, when you hear a commercial on this show, please support the businesses you see and hear promoted on our program. They do make this show happen. Tonight we're joined by Fast Jack Vanderboom and his dad Rick with Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage. Jack's been racing a bunch this season. He brought his U2 wing sprint car. It's sitting right on the curb at Polly's. You can't miss it. It's been out there for a little while, and we can't thank those guys for the time and effort to bring their race car down. Steve Zock is here. He'll preview this Friday and Saturday's 27th annual Harry A. Miller Vintage IndyCar Meet at the Milwaukee Mile. We're talking about turn of the century through the early 60s. Maybe they have rear-engine cars finally in there. Don't know. But I'm talking it's to be a great display of rolling history this Friday and Saturday at the Milwaukee Mile. Steve's going to join us to tell you more about that. Logan Julian is here. He just parked his 600 micro on the curb. He races that at Tomahawk Raceway. He's an accomplished micro sprint racer. He's also getting up to speed with his 360 winged sprint car adventures with Mojo. We'll talk to him about that. His car's out front. Dirt late model racer Jamie Zeider is here with his race car. He's racing the Dirt Kings Tour with help from his family business as a sponsor, American Foundation Specialist. Good to see his dad Tony here tonight as well, and a bunch of folks hanging out with us. Plus Dean Strom on coverage of the Wisconsin racing scene during the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report, and we have a Lapman Motorsports number 19 ASA car. Yes, the same one Dennis drove in 2001. That car was at the Slinger Speedway a couple of Sundays ago as a remembrance night, as Dennis has passed away in the off-season, and it's great to see that number 19 ASA car is here. It's running. Tim brought it, so thanks to see Tim and Brandy, his sister, and got to say happy birthday to Emma Spalding. She's here tonight. That's Brandy's daughter. They're 18 years of age tonight. Congratulations on that. Brandy's up with her family for a summer visit, so good to see all the Lapmans here. That car is sitting out front because we're talking ASA reunion. It's been a while since the ASA series existed, and guess what? They're having a big reunion coming up on Saturday night, July 16th at Anderson Speedway. The same night they're running the Redbud 400, a traditional late model race that's been sanctioned by ASA for 30-some years. Tonight we have retired vice president from ARCA and ASA, Mark Gundam, joining us, as well as Scott Hansen, three-time winner of the Redbud 400. He's here tonight with a bunch of folks, so we're talking about that when we come back next on the Racing Roundup Show. Stick around. We'd love to have you down in here and join us at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Or if you can't join us, make sure you spend Tuesday night with us and enjoy what's going to be a great action-packed show once again. We'll see you here in a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help you with your spring cleaning. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, right next to Miller Park. ARR Recycling since 1938.
We're back on the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us. Glad to have the involvement of Matt Rapina, a great guy to buy or sell your home or commercial property with. You can list it with Matt Rapina. He's a Caldwell Banker home sale realty expert. You want to list and buy with confidence, hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Visit mattrapina.com. mattrapina.com. Fast Jack Racing is here tonight. We might talked about his car out front. We've got pictures and decals if you want, and some sunglasses. They've got a table set up in the back, so if you just want to grab one of those, if you like to support the team, those are there for the taking. We have prize giveaways after the show tonight here at Paulie's, including bottles of Anderson's Maple Syrup, copies of Automobilia Magazine, thanks to tonight's guest and writer, Steve Zotke. Jamie Zeider brought some racing T-shirts. We've got some Napa hats and signs from Oak Creek Automotive, some other racing T-shirts, die-cast. We got a little 1/64th of an Alan Kowicki Hooters car over there. We got a lot of cool things to give away tonight, so come on down. We have giveaways after every show, so we encourage you to come down and join the racing crowd on a Tuesday evening and have fun and celebrate with us. A bunch of racing people talking racing now for 38 seasons and counting. We've got a big race coming up on Saturday night, July 16th. It's the Redbud 400. It's an ARCA CRA Super Series late model race, 400 lapper there. It's been going on for a long time. It's the 56th running of the Redbud 400, and on that same night at Anderson Speedway in Indiana, the High Bank Quarter Mile, there's an ASA reunion, the American Speed Association. They are going to be back in force. My friends Mark and Kate Gundrum are retired now, living in Milwaukee again, Milwaukee area, and they said, hey, we got this reunion coming up. I'm like, let's get it on the show. Let's talk about it. Let's do it big. So we got Dennis Latman's ASA car out there. We got Mark Gundrum, the former VP of ASA, and we got a guy who won the Redbud 400 3 times and raced a ton in ASA, 26 wins over his career. Let's welcome back Scott Hansen. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Mark Gundrum, you said, hey, we got this idea. We want to get a bunch of people together for this Redbud 400 race and ASA reunion. And now that you got all this free time that you're retired, sounds like it's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I can't take credit for it. It really wasn't my idea. Rick Dawson is the owner and promoter of Anderson Speedway. He worked for Rex and Becky Robbins back in the 90s in registration with my wife Kay, in fact, and then left the company. He was also the accountant for ASA and then wound up buying Anderson Speedway from Rex. I'm not sure, as an accountant, why he would buy a racetrack.
Exactly.
Yeah, he saw the numbers and went, I still want to do this. Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
And actually, there's been a couple attempts to do these reunions over the years, nothing formal. We had a bunch of people together at Winchester one year, but this seemed like it was legit. And he called me in January, and I said, there's some complications, and I didn't hear from him for a while. And then Rex and Becky's nephew, John Robbins, called me back a couple months ago and said, hey, it's on. The track is behind it. The track is going to put it on. And, we're getting started. Where do we go? And I was like, well, I'll help you if I can. And Kay will help. And we put a little committee together with some of the folks who worked for ASA, and we started reaching out to people. But we realized we were late. We were late getting to a lot of people. A lot of people had plans already in summers. A lot of them are still racing. working on cars or spotting or doing something yet. But the first thing that John Robbins said to me was, he said, "Hey, Scott Hansen's coming." I said, "Well, that's cool as hell. That's great."
Scott lives about 2 miles from Polly's, by the way, so it's really been a difficult process to get Scott to commit. Thank you, Scott, for coming down.
It's tough to get here, It's as everybody's schedules do this, do that. But when you text and asked if I could come down, and knowing that I committed to the Red Bud 400, it was just a no-brainer to come down here and do everything we can to try and promote this deal.
Which is really a cool deal. And, Scott's going to be one of the guests of honors. Gary St. Amand is a 2-time champion and a Red Bud 400 winner and one of your fiercest competitors at any track over all those years. Will be joining you as a guest of honor. And there's still several people who are trying to make it, drivers, past champions, people off the top 10 in wins. We knew, again, as I said, we're late. We're late getting to a lot of people. I called Mike and Judy Miller in their motorhome driving across freaking North Dakota or somewhere. Oh, man, any other weekend we'd have been happy to be there. But it's going to be good, and it's tied to this super late model race, 400 laps at Anderson. And the list of winners of this thing is like a who's who of our short track heroes from the day, including you 3 times.
I wish you wouldn't have showed me that list, because I see I lost way more than I won. But
you finished second twice. You led a ton of laps in both of those races, over 150 each time you finished second that I saw on the list.
According to this, I finished second 5 times.
See, there you go.
See, what's wrong with that picture? But
you won it, though. You won it 3.
We did win it 3 and just had a great time. Delta Faucet was a huge sponsor of ours right out of Indianapolis down there. So we would go down there and make it a big deal. We would go there and do pit stops for them in their parking lot and get them involved in the parade and everything. And from Baker Motorsports, All-Star Racing with Jerry Gunderman, Schrader, we won one with him. We tried to make it as big as we could for everybody down there.
And it's a great event. They used to have a parade with race cars being pushed by their team members. Sometimes that was an escapade. They had a golf outing once. Jimmy Johnson totaled out a golf cart. Rick Beebe takes the blame, but Jimmy Johnson probably should have been arrested. They had a golf outing for that event weekend one year. But I do recall, Scott, you won a Rolex watch for one of those wins, didn't you?
A watch, a lawnmower, a ring. Those are the 3 things that I got. And it was tried to be taken from me, from the car owner at the time.
10-4.
And I said, well, you better get a new driver next week, because I didn't see you behind the wheel doing this. And we had a few meetings in the mobile office, but we got it straightened out. It cost me the price of the watch, but it was worth it.
26 wins and 228 ASA starts for Scott Hansen between 1984 and 2003. The years you ran full-time, I was involved on the television side or radio side. And I'm telling you, man, when people talk about ASA memories and say, "Jim, were you there?" I'm like, yeah, I remember everything I did and saw. But you also raced 60 to 70 times in addition to that in a given year, outside those 20 races.
We did, and it's probably something that we finished second in the ASA point standings 3 times as well. And it's probably something that deterred from the championship, because when you stretch yourself that thin, that it takes away. There's no doubt about it. But when that was how you made your living, you got out there and you found every race that paid some money, and we chased it.
Talk with Scott Hansen and Mark Gundrum with the ASA reunion coming up on Saturday, July 16th at Anderson Speedway in Indiana. The ARCA Series Super Series is a great series. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. Top-notch, super late model racing. You're going to have a lot of stars. Austin Nason, I know, goes down from this area. A lot of guys that run up in the Midwest, north of Indiana, will be here at this race. And Mark Gundrum, I'm guessing you're going to get phone calls through the night saying, hey, what about me? Can I show up? You've got race officials being invited. You've got race crew members now saying, I want to be involved. This is going to be a pretty big deal outside the racing itself.
Yeah, and people are starting to pick up steam here now as we get a little closer to this thing. And I'll say this, Scott, you can attest to this. If you've not been to Anderson Speedway, it's worth going to see it. It's like Slinger. It's a little quarter-mile high bank, but probably even narrower.
Narrower, much narrower.
And for years, they were going back and forth as to which was the fastest quarter mile. And I think Slinger, since they put that sprint car up here that night and ran like 9 seconds or something, has got the claim. But imagine 400 laps at Slinger, if you will. And that's what this late model race is going to be, 400 laps. And the pit stops are in an X in the middle, like Slinger. It's kind of dicey.
It is. It was very hard to pit there. I mean, they had to do exceptionally good job to slow everybody down to walking speed. It was hard to stay on the track and keep the car running because you were going so slow while they allowed everybody to get the pit stops done. And it was a challenge, in and off the track.
It'll be a good race with these super late models. Casey Johnson, who won the Joe Shear Classic at Madison and won across the street here on Father's Day, is one of the local guys entered, and they're up over 20 cars now. And of course, those late model guys don't always get out in front of this too much, but guys from all over the country. The race will be cool. The reunion, I think, is going to be cooler. We're going to do that in the afternoon, like from 3 to 5, in a pavilion there. There's a Facebook page. You remember Ross Wellman did the action line thing?
Yeah.
Ross runs a Facebook page called Remembering ASA, and that's a good place to go to start. If you had anything to do with the series, you can get a hold of Ross or John Robbins through that Facebook page. Then we'll reach back out to you. There are tickets and passes available for the reunion event itself, which will be a couple hours in the afternoon. Food and drinks and meet and greet and mingle, and we'll have a good time.
I only really met Rick on a personal level. I've known him, for a long time. But last
He was
year,
an official, so he was the guy that you would wheel the 10-pound sledge past
I
if you had
put
to
a
make it
couple of
through
gray
check.
hairs on his head,
Yeah.
as I did Mark here.
Yeah.
But not all of them are there. Kay must have did one or two. But anyway, last year I went to Anderson with Kenny Schrader to do a federated deal.
Yeah.
And then Rick and his crew put on a feed and just a little deal for the group of us, and it turned into just a blast. So he does it right.
And didn't he invite you last year to be the Grand Marshal of the Redbud 400?
He did.
How'd it go then last year?
I didn't get down there.
Oh, okay.
Something else came up.
Okay.
Time I got home and remembered, he asked me, something else
Sure.
had come into place. So
Yeah.
I don't know what their plans are exactly this year for that. I know they did ask if I would go in and do a little. What is it for TV that it's on? It's on some television?
Streaming, sure, yeah.
Streaming,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
wanted me to do a little color commentating on that, if I would when I was there. So they've got us kind of going here and there and everywhere while we're down there. It'll be good.
You'll get to sign some autographs for sure.
I-
I know that. for
I
a
had Pat
fact.
Bergen dig me out about,
You did.
must be 300-400 variety of,
Uh-huh.
the Baker, the All-Star, the Finetti, and
Right.
my Budweiser ones from back in the day. So I've got a little variety of everything. I'm hoping they're all gone, so some people still remember.
I'm part of that crowd. I love everything about this reunion. I love everything about it. AndersonSpeedway.com is the website. If you can't get there, Mark, where are they streaming the race?
Racing America, I believe, huh? Jim, racingamerica.com
Okay,
is the
yep.
streaming service.
Yep.
You can find the Anderson Speedway phone number and call. Like I said, this reunion itself, it's open to anybody. There are tickets left, not many, because it's a hospitality event and a meet and greet in the afternoon. Of course, race tickets will be available right up until green flag time, and you can call the racetrack or buy them day of. I think you just watch the Anderson Speedway site and other items. More drivers who are willing to commit as we get a little bit closer here have cleared their schedules or haven't committed yet, which will be fun. And then, of course, a bunch of officials and people from the office. Joe Balish can't wait to see you again.
Oh, boy.
He's going to open up the page, the 2001 rule book, saying, right there, Scott, that's the one that got the sledgehammer out of Jennerstown. That's the one right there on that ride height.
I
on
probably
the deck
still
lid.
owe a couple of fines from back in the day. I see Kenny Wallace, somebody sent me a deal that he had put something on his Facebook page or Twitter page.
Cool.
And like you said, Mark, so many, it just got to be a little bit too long before they really open this up and let everybody know about it. But hopefully it'll break the ice and from years to come, next year following whatever, the 60th, that they can really put a big deal together.
And ASA started, actually, Rex Robbins owned and leased the racetrack at Anderson Speedway. He leased it and ran races as a promoter. He formed ASA. He owned the Anderson Speedway. That's another reason why it's a homecoming as a reunion to the track that really ASA began sanctioning sprint car races before Dave Sorg won the first championship in the Touring Series in 1973.
And there's already talk about next year based on the fact that we did get such a late start. And so many people have said, hey, as soon as you come up with a date, let me know. And to your point, the ASA National Tour started in 73. So next year would be the 50th anniversary.
I wasn't even born then. I don't
Yeah, math, I know, darn math stuff. 50th anniversary likely will happen again next year. We'll do it this year. We'll probably do it next year, and then we'll see if, how many people want to get together and how often. But thank you for coming down.
Absolutely.
You're a big part of that Anderson 400 and ASA in general. I mean, most people in this room know who you are and your accolades, but you were one hell of an ASA racer, top 10 in most every major category. I was there. You won 3 races in a row, and that's way up there in the deal. I was been about 98 or something. Huh?
But remember, I couldn't do it alone. I had a lot of great people behind me, including one of Jim's brothers that helped us. And the list of names that helped me is as long as my arm, but there were a lot of them. So
it's an ASA reunion coming up on July 16th, and I'm going to ask you guys a question. You might hear a few times when you're at the reunion. Since you were with ASA, when did you stop working for ASA, Mark, and what you've been doing since?
I left in 2004, and in 2 days went to work for ARCA, and spent the next 17 years up in Michigan working for Ron Draeger. Stayed with the Touring Series stuff, got to see a little bit of the super speedway side of the sport that we didn't get to see at ASA. Right. I got a little tired, so I retired at the end of last year. Kay, my wife, retired 2 years ago, and she was kind of pestering me, so I pulled the plug on it at the end of last year, and I have been pretty much goofing off since. It's been great.
Scott Hansen, your last race was 2003. I know you crew chiefed in between some of those last years in ASA, as well as driving. What have you been up to since 2003-ish, 2-ish, 1-ish?
Well, my wife Nancy and I started a small trucking company, and I focused on that the way I focused on the racing when I started it, because I knew if I veered back to the racing, there's all them shirt tails being tugged on all the time. Still is to this day. People want, well, you can do it one more time. And I was like, I can't get through the window anymore. So I don't want to embarrass myself down that road, but we had the trucking company for 17, 18 years and sold that probably 5 years ago or so, and back and forth to Arizona, now sold that. So now my wife is pestering me to go find another place in Arizona, but we're just working on different things. I am not very good at being retired, but each day it's getting better, and I hope it don't come to...
I could put you to work.
I'm sure you could.
My great nephew is in the back of the room. He's running a sportsman car at Slinger.
Brady Held, yeah.
We're learning the ropes, man.
Yeah,
you ought to come up and check it out sometime.
I never figured out the ropes at Slinger in all the time I was there.
Scott, it's been fun having you here. It's been fun to be your friend. It's been fun to watch you race at the highest level and kick their tail in short track racing and otherwise. And the fun I see you have with your friends. Who did you bring here tonight to hang out with you? I know that Jerry Gunderman's been a buddy of yours for a long time. You guys get to travel, and I've seen you all sorts of places.
Jerry couldn't make it because they're going on a big cruise. I don't even know where, somewhere next week. And they wanted to lay low so they didn't catch anything and have that interfere with anything. He says to make sure and say hello to everybody, but a lot of friends and family here to come and hang out for the night and have some pizza and beer and just have a good time.
Sounds like a plan. Mark, thank you for all your help. I get to do TV stuff. And when Mark Gundrum got to ARCA and they said, hey, we got this Speed Channel thing where we want to have an ARCA pit reporter like in 2003. Who should we get? And I got a chance a couple of times to do pit road reporting for ARCA. And then it became where Don Radeball got really busy. And Speed folks said, hey, Trader did an okay job. What do you think, ARCA? And Mark Gundrum, thank you, and Ron Draeger for saying, let's give that kid a shot. So I get to do TV stuff with ARCA for many years, thanks to your longtime friendship and belief in what I get to do. So we get to share the sport of it, but without Scott Hansen being a good guy that says, hey, I'm going to this track, come on along. Mark Gundrum saying, hey, believe in that kid. Trado can do the job. I want to personally say thanks to both of you guys. It's been a lot of fun talking to you tonight, and every other chance I get to talk to you guys. It's really been a great friendship over the years. Thank you.
It has, and I appreciate it as much.
Absolutely. How about I stand for Mark Gundrum and Scott Hansen joining us tonight? Thank you to Tim Latman, Brandy Latman Spalding, and her daughter Emma. Happy birthday. They brought the Latman Motorsports 2001 number 19 ASA car. It's sitting out here at Paulie's as well on the curb. We've got race cars sitting out front. We've got Fast Jack Vanderboom's sprint car. We've got Jamie Zeider's dirt late model. We have Logan Julian's 600 micro wing sprint car sitting out front. We want you to come join us. We're a part of the racing crowd. We always have fun. We do giveaways after every show here at Polly's Pub and Eatery tonight, 81st and Greenfield. Come on, John, and join the racing crowd. We're talking to Fast Jack and his dad, Rick, when we come back on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Need a pack and move? Well, we do a lot of them. And we have all the proper materials to pack your belongings safe and sound so they arrive in the same condition as they went out in. Packing boxes, bubble wrap, mirror packs, lamp boxes, dish packs. We get the job done right. Packed and labeled properly so it all ends up in the right spot in your new place. This is Rick Vanderboom. Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage will improve your move. BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move. Statewide.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
This Saturday at Dell's Raceway Park, it's round 2 of the Triple Crown Series presented by Logan's Heroes Bar and Grill. Hot racing action with the UMA Pro Late Models, UMA Asphalt Mods, Bandits, INEX Legends, and Bandoleros. Gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, green flag racing at 6. Go online to DellsRacewayPark.com for schedules, racing news, and more. Dell's Raceway Park, located 2 miles west of I-90-94 and exit 85, just off Highway 12. Wisconsin's best racing entertainment is at Dell's Raceway Park. This Saturday at Dell's Raceway Park, it's the Lyle Navafelt 55 Tribute Night with the CWRA Super Late Models. Adding to the racing action is the Pro Late Models, Sportsman, Bandits, and Super Cubs. Gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, green flag racing at 6. Dell's Raceway Park, located 5 miles west of Wisconsin Dells on Highway 12 and 16, or exit 85 off I-90-94. Go online to DellsRacewayPark.com for tickets and more info. Good food, great family fun, and exciting racing action this Saturday at Dell's Raceway Park.
So glad we called the American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
You play it again? Okay. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, live here in Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. Want to thank our friends at ARR West Dallas Recycling at 80th and Burnham, ARR Waukesha Recycling at 1001 Tesh Court, and you can cash in at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from where the Milwaukee Brewers play. Visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com. It's time for the Interstate Batteries NASCAR report. I had a bunch of fun over the weekend. Thanks to Interstate Batteries for supporting this show. They sponsor Joe Gibbs Racing, who was in style at Road America this past weekend. Interstate Batteries are the #1 replacement battery in North America. And Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin has a battery for every need. Visit interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Congrats to the entire Road America staff on presenting another stellar weekend of NASCAR. Racing had a bunch of fun on the PA. Working all weekend, I really enjoyed camping with my son Sam and his buddy AJ as well. It's a lot of fun. If you get the chance, do it. Renew now. Tyler Reddick earned his first Cup win by outpacing pole winner and race laps leader Chase Elliott over the final 25 laps in the Quick Trip 250 presented by Jockey Made in America NASCAR Cup Series race on Sunday. It was a great display of driving for Reddick, who admitted after the race, hey, 4 years ago, I was ready to give up my racing career. I could not figure out Road America. I stuffed at the fence on a warm-down lap coming to the pits in practice. He's worked hard. He ran Saturday's Xfinity Series race and for experience, and he proved superior on Sunday. He's the 5th first-time winner in Cup this season and his 13th different driver to win this year. He's also the 10th driver for the organization, Richard Childress Racing, to win a Cup race. Kyle Larson finished 3rd ahead of Trackhouse Racing teammates Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. Our guest last week at Wilmot Raceway, Josh Balicki, had an adventurous weekend. He suffered brake issues and a cut-down tire on Sunday, credited with 36th. On Saturday, in the Henry 180 NASCAR Xfinity Series race, Balicki made a memorable, cheesy run as he was involved with a 13-car pileup in lap 25. He came down in the grass, and that's where the signs are sitting for the cameras to see, but off the racing line. Well, Josh made evasive maneuvers, picked up a Sargento cheese sign the size of a snowplow, and it became a snowplow in the nose of his Chevy as he went down the racetrack. TV cameras caught it perfect. My son pointed out that it's on the Sargento homepage now on Facebook. They love the idea. So Wisconsin Josh Blicky in a cheesy move somehow, some way. He's a marketing guy. He got some exposure for Sargento on TV on Saturday. It was quite a bit of fun. He ended up finishing 13th, too, so nice job by Josh Blicky. Kyle Larson had the car to beat on Saturday, fielded by Hendrick Motorsports. Ty Gibbs was close to him, about 3 seconds back, came down to the last final laps. Ty Gibbs closed, pressured the Cup champ into small mistakes late. As Larson recounted, first on exit 14, coming to the white flag. After that corner, long straightaway, then drag racing Gibbs into turn 1. Larson overdrove turn 3. After 2 little nudges from Gibbs as they went over the Aaron's tunnel, that was all it took as Gibbs powered away for the victory as Larson just went wide one last time. And Ty Gibbs won at Road America. Noah Gregson finished 8th, but his run-in with Sage Karam to cause that 13-car pileup was a head-scratcher. Not often do 2 cars spin on the straightaway, both guys pointing blame at each other. Gregson said Karam started it, and he finished it. Karam said, hey, I've never been spun on the straightaway before. Reddick's Chevy was T-boned by Brandon Brown's Chevy in the Saturday race in a big dust and smoke cloud near the Sargento Bridge. That was kind of scary. Wisconsin Sam Mayer started 5th and ended 20th. Atlanta Motor Speedway is next for the Cup and Xfinity Series. I'll be working the Fox Sports 1 crew this weekend for the ARCA Truck Series doubleheader at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course outside Columbus, Ohio. Last Thursday, I had a chance to be on the live TV call on MAV TV for the 500 Sprint Car Tour and USAC Silver Crown races at Lucas Oil IRP in Indiana. That was a bunch of fun. Congrats to Tanner Swanson for winning the 30-lap race over his brother Cody in the 500 Sprint Car Tour. That's the 10th time they finished 1-2 or 2-1 between the brothers at Lucas Oil IRP. Cody made quick work on the opening lap to take the 25-lap Silver Crown shootout that featured 10 cars for $2,500 to win with $1,000 to start in that special event. That was fun to also call live on MAV TV. Kyle O'Gara won the National Pavement Midget Championship. He raced in all 3. He won the midget portion when it closed out the evening on Thursday night. The next 500 Sprint Car Tour race is streaming live this Saturday night on MAV TV on Flow Racing. If you didn't see the news, MAV TV and Flow Racing have entered a partnership. The news came down Thursday. It was announced last Thursday that MAV TV Plus will continue to carry streaming content through July 26th and will transition immediately into the Flow streaming platform with a great complement of live races and content, including our show. So you can look for us on MAV TV on Flow Racing sometime real soon as our show will be moved into the MAV TV on Flow platform. So if you have a Flow Racing subscription, welcome to the family. We're going to be there as well. We now have a family sitting next to me that have been really involved in racing at every level, and they are now racing a bunch. Let's welcome in the Vanderrooms, Fast Jack and his dad, Rick. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
We've got a U2 sprint car out front, but it's one of how many cars you've been racing this year so far, Jack?
1 out of 3.
And now I see you've got the 360 sprint car. That's the series you raced most recently, right,
Yeah.
for the last couple of seasons. And
Yeah,
now you're
I've
still
been
doing
racing
that.
for 3 years, yeah.
And now you're doing what else? There's a lot going on with you.
So we started the 410 last year, really, but we've done about, I would say, 4 nights now, and we got an opportunity at the start of the season from Joe Zane to drive his midget as well. So we are doing that as well. It's been fun so far. We've had some hiccups every once in a while, but no big deal. We're starting to figure it out. We're getting faster every time we go out.
Have you double dipped at any of these races between a 410 wing sprint car and a 360 or a 360 wing sprint car and a midget at the same night, same racetrack?
Yes, a couple. We've had first night on the midget, I believe we did double duty with the 360 and the midget, and then we had another one at Angel Park with the 410 and the midget as well. We've kind of just been jumping around. Most of them have been 1 car each night that we've ran, but we've had a couple double headers as well.
And what is the biggest challenge for you, jumping car to car in the same night, or just knowing that you're racing 1 car one night and a totally different race car the next?
I think the biggest challenge would be just the driving, because they all drive a little different. 360 and 410 are more similar than, obviously, you'd say the midget, but those two still have their differences as well. And it's a struggle for me to jump between the two because of horsepower difference, the way they handle, and the driving style as well. And then plus the midget too, being such a big gap without the wings, and a little smaller car, lighter car, shorter wheelbase. It's a little more twitchy. It's harder to drive, but I've kind of gotten used to kind of adapting between 2 cars, especially on doubleheader nights. It helps, if I just sit down and, think about what I need to do during the race before I go out.
Jack Vanderboom joining us, Fat Jack Vanderboom. We've got the U2 decals here. You're giving those away. Thank you guys for bringing a stack of those. That's cool, and some pictures as well. This past weekend, you guys started Thursday night with the IRA sprints at Plymouth. How'd that night go with the Road America Challenge?
Not too bad. We started out we started a little rough. We missed the setup a little bit, kind of went back. We had to race it, and we ended up, I believe I moved all the way up to 12th, and right at the end, it's just kind of tires went away, and I moved back a little bit. I believe we finished up, finishing 18th, I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
And then Sunday night you went to the Prairie, right?
Yep.
Well, how'd that go?
Thursday went pretty nice, and then Sunday wasn't too bad. We qualified good, and we ran, I believe, 4th in the heat, transferred right in, and we were running good. I believe I started 10th, was running 13th, and came out on 2, just washed up a little bit, ended up not finishing, no big deal. Not too much wrecked, but, I learned a lot. Obviously hitting a wall and just the way, obviously now coming down with the car and how it drives and everything, being up towards in the marbles and stuff like that. It's a lot different. It's
all part of it, man. I'm admiring the fact you get these chances. And let's bring your dad in here, Rick. I know that you live in the city of Dallas, but I'm guessing you guys had some karting background before you guys moved on. And this has been a family deal. Tell us how much fun it's been with your son through these progressions now, racing with these high caliber, even World of Outlaw opportunities you guys have.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We started out in a kid kart, I think it's 13, maybe 14 years ago. Had no idea that it would progress into what we're doing today and how it takes off. We were just going to have some fun on a Sunday afternoon, and the natural progression takes you into where we're at now. But it's been an awful lot of fun. It's the camaraderie with all the people that you meet while doing this, and the fans, the racers, their families. We really enjoy spending our weekends racing.
And now with this opportunity, Zane Motorsports and the midget, that's got to add some more things to your calendar. Like, where do we need to be when?
Yeah,
you working on the sprint cars, the Zane Motorsports team, husband and wife are working on the midget.
Yeah, so Joe approached us from Zane Motorsports and wanted to know if Jack was interested in driving the midget. So we've always wanted to give it a shot. We did some Badger stuff back in the micro days and enjoyed that group of people. So, when that chance arose, we decided to go ahead and take it. And, being the wingless thing and the short wheelbase, it was, I think, a little learning curve, but he adapted pretty quick. So he's been doing a good job in it. So, we got some things to learn there for sure. And we're still working the bugs out of the car, but it's coming along really good. And, we're not running for any points this year in any division.
Which is a big difference thing for you guys, right? Since karting, you've been running for points somewhere.
We've always been chasing a Rookie of the Year, a track championship, or whatever it is. So it's been kind of nice to set our own schedule. If we want to run the 410 or the 360 or do the midget thing, and we are doing some double duty nights. We got a lot of, and especially the second half of the season, we got a lot of double headers, double duty. There's even a few nights where we could do triple duty, and there's just no way that's going to happen. It's just way too much. You got to draw the line somewhere, obviously. But it's really been a lot of fun and a great experience. The 410 thing's been, I think Jack's been doing great in it. Now we're still figuring out a few things with setups on that because the setup is a lot different with the power to weight ratio compared to the 360. So. But I think we're on the right step forward now, and we did miss the World Outlaw show by one car at Beaver Dam a few weeks ago.
That's pretty amazing if you ask me.
Yeah, one car away, so I felt good about that, and we're going to give it another shot down at Wilmot Saturday night and see if we can put it in the show and take it from there. So.
Pretty excited for that opportunity, Jack. Is that the only race this weekend for you then, the World of Outlaws at Wilmot Saturday night?
Yes, I believe that is the only one. Like you said, we did miss it by one spot. We didn't, it's hard competition out there, especially with the Outlaws, and then plus the IRA guys that come are usually really heavy hitters, and it's just we didn't very much luck out at the start of the night, and so we didn't make it into the A. But I feel confident that we will be able to on Saturday.
You've run some IRA shows outside of the World of Outlaws coming to town. 3 times I think it was. You got a top 10 already. That confidence has to be there because you know that it's a hard nut to crack. There's the 13 or 14 traveling World of Outlaw guys, and here you go trying to make the show with all the IRA guys trying to cram in the final 10 spots in the feature kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so we've been doing pretty good with the IRA, and I know we can be consistent with either, like your top 10 or your top 15. We can have a very fast car, and I know I can run with those guys. And a lot of the guys that I've ran next to, you know, for say at Rice Lake or Angel Park, will be out there, and I'll be running next to them at Wilmot, or for say when we were over at Beaver Dam, I was running next to them as well, and I'm confident I can, you know, either beat them or run right next to them and run well with them. But you know, like I said, things didn't look out at Beaver Dam, so hopefully it goes better at Wilmot. Hopefully you can transfer in and have some better luck.
Rick, give us a shop tour. You've got wing sprint cars, 360s, different engine at 410. How many guys? How many crew members? That's a lot of work to get those cars ready.
It is a lot of work. It's mainly myself, Jack, and Rick Keller, and then my cousin Mike Lineberger, who does a lot of the fabricating and stuff like that. Yeah, welding if we need to have that kind of stuff done. But as far as car maintenance, Jack does a lot of the maintenance. Rick and I do maintenance and setups and all that. So everybody lends a hand.
Well,
yeah, it's like having another full-time job for sure.
Tell us about the first full-time job, your family business since 1947.
Yeah, Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage. We're a full-service moving and storage company, climate-controlled storage. We're a local and statewide company. We offer all the services that the big major van lines offer, except for at a more reasonable price and a more personalized service. So we do everything the big boys do, just at a more reasonable price.
BlueMountainExpress.com is the website, and I love the idea that you are saying this is what sets us apart. It's our family, it's our guys. We're in town to help you move where you need to move to. It's not a bunch of guys that just say, hey, I want to be subcontracted here, or this is kind of thing. You guys take pride in the family business aspect.
Absolutely. All full-time employees. We don't use the instant help or the temp services like a lot of them do. You know, van lines, they can be famous for lumper help. We do not. Everybody that works for us is company employees. So.
I saw that logo on the car. I also see Charisma Customs on the car. Jack, tell us about that sponsorship, the budding involvement with them.
Yeah, so we recently, Charisma Customs came on board about, I want to say, 3-4 weeks ago. Really what Charisma Customs does is they do a lot of automotive stuff. So they do car detailing, ceramic coating, a lot of electronics, like automotive electronics, and some paint protection films as well. They offer a lot of services. Very nice people over there. Whatever your automotive needs are, take it there, because they do a great job, and they're very trusted people.
What other sponsors do you have along to help pay some of those tire bills?
So it's mainly Charisma and Blue Mountain, and then that's, I mean, really
Advanced Engine Concepts.
Advanced Engine Concepts, yes. Which they built us, Advanced Engine Concepts built us 2 very great motors.
Nice.
And then also R&H for helping us out through these 5 years that we've been running the sprint cars as well.
You guys have a lot of folks pulling for you. I love seeing you race on the racetrack. Where did the number U2 come from? We haven't talked about that yet on the show since we've had you on.
Ooh, okay. So there's a longer backstory to this. So it was originally my uncle's number. So he raced Legends for about a season, and you know, they got the car all done right before the next season, and he unfortunately died in a motorcycle crash, hitting a deer. And so later on down the road, we went out to the kart track after moving to Dousman. Went out to the kart track and ended up bringing home a cart. The day we went out there and went out to watch some racing, ended up bringing home a cart. And at the time, I believe I was about 4 when we got it, so I couldn't race for another 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And waited it out for a little bit and jumped into the karts and kind of, I think we did 3 years of that, 3 or 4, and got out of it into the junior wing sprints, and it kind of just took off from there. And we did about 3 years of the junior and 3 years of the micro, and now we're into the sprint cars for 5 years now.
That's a great progression, man. It's fun to follow you. Not just, thank you for your involvement with Blue Mountain Express, the sponsor of our show, but it's been fun to watch how you get to do this and how you get to tear it up, man. I mean, you're right there with them, and it doesn't sound like you're too fazed by if it's Rico Abreu flowing in on a weekend, or if it's Chris Wyndham or anybody else. Like, I'm here to race too, guys. It's got to be kind of fun knowing that challenge is there and you're meeting it.
Yeah, well, it's just, I kind of look at it as it's another competitor. You know, they might be fast, they might be from out of town, but there's people that can beat them, and the local boys can beat them, and if they can do it, I know I can do it. And the faster we get, the more confidence I have, and I can run up I feel like I can run next to any of them with a lot of confidence.
And when it comes to the crew, you mentioned the shop, Rick Keller, a longtime friend of mine. He raced with my brother and karts in Dousman. He raced a bunch of years in IRA with that yellow number 24.
Yep.
He and his dad, Wally, great friends when we were traveling together and doing all sorts of racing. Great to see you've got that support. Anyone else that has really kind of been there for that track or helped you guys maybe 1 or 2 nights or 2 months in the off-season getting ready?
That's pretty much our crew.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick is retired from his job now, so, he comes in by us part-time, and that is really the crew. But, the backbone, a lot of our support comes from, Rick Lemansky and Scotty Neitzel at R&H. So, they've been huge as far as the backbone support and the knowledge. They've really helped me and Rick step up our game to make sure that we're doing things the right way. We would not be where we are right now and doing as well as we're doing without the support of Rick Lemansky and Scotty Neitzel at R&H. So
And they've been around a long time.
We owe them a lot, and they're great guys to work with. So we're super proud to have their support.
We're glad to have your support on the show. We wish you the best. This Saturday, look for Fast Jack Racing on Facebook, but look for Fast Jack at the racetrack. He's racing, taking on the World of Outlaws this coming Saturday night. We wish you all the best in making the A-Main and getting on from there, man. What else is coming up on your schedule? You know what's going on after this coming weekend, or is it we're looking at a race? What's the next one?
I think it's going to be the Outlaws show, and I think the weekend after that, I think it's just the midget. So, and we're kind of just jumping around. Our schedule's undecided, really.
And it's going to be a bunch of IRA stuff.
Yeah, we don't have a set schedule.
All right.
I think it's mostly going to be IRA and the midget. So we have plenty to run still this season. I'm excited for every single race. Hopefully, see how it goes. Hopefully, I get better and better, and hopefully we can come into our rookie year in the IRA strong next year, and possibly next year we might run the midget again too. It's all up to Joe. Maybe he wants to run it, and I am more than happy to as well.
Sounds great. How about a nice hand for the Vanderrooms, Fast Jack and his dad, Rick, guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks
for
for
the
having
Cardone,
us.
too.
We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for your support as well. We've got a lot to cover on the show. It's been a lot of fun thus far. Believe it or not, we got Jamie Zeider hanging out with us from American Foundation Specialist. His dad, Tony's hanging out with the race cars out front. We have more to talk about with Steve Zocchi about the Miller meet. That's the Harry A. Miller Club. Harry A. Miller from Mosinee, Wisconsin, was a master craftsman, engine builder, and chassis maker in the Indy 500. His engines became the Offenhauser engine. There's a tie there to Wisconsin. It's all coming this Friday and Saturday to the Milwaukee Mile for the Miller meet, the 27th Vintage IndyCar meet at the Mile. We'll talk to Steve about that as well on this show. Much more to come, including Dean Strom and the world of short track racing. Stick around. This is the Racing Roundup Show live at Paulie's Pub and Eatery. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundup.show.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club Points Racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack-leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much.
American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
This is America's longest-running weekly motorsports program, held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed on the Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Thanks for joining us for the Racing Roundup Show. Once again, here is the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You see him on MAV TV's live coverage of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl and the Arca Menard Series. The host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, thanks for being part of this program. We're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery tonight on this July 5th edition. Can't thank you enough for being part of the show. Hope you heard some great commercials, and we're going to talk more about what you get to do in the upcoming weeks. Logan Julian's got a busy schedule. We're talking to Logan tonight. He's got his micro spin outside, and he also is racing some 360 sprint car stuff, so we're kind of on the cusp of finding out what he's about, just like we had with Fast Jack a moment ago. It's great to have family connections here at the show with his dad, Brian, as well. This portion of the show is brought to you by BMRE Electric Carts in Random Lake. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon dealer. Has in-stock inventory and customizing options available right now on their Facebook page. Search BMRE Electric Carts Company. BMRE Electric Carts Company. It's now time for the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Short Track Spotlight. It's on the spotlight of a driver that's been around for a long time, and his dad's been supporting racing, winning championships for decades. It's great to have Anderson's Maple Syrup as a supporter of our show. You want to try it on your coffee or in your coffee, your tea, or on ice cream. Take it with you with Pure Fuel, Maple Energy on the go. AndersonsMapleSyrup.com is their website. They're a proud Wisconsin company, around since 1928 with pure quality. Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup. Let's welcome in our spotlight driver and his dad. Let's go that way. Jamie Zeider and his dad, Tony Zeider. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Jamie, you had the car in repair. You're like, I don't know if I can make it. Now the car is here. You're here. This is exciting. You've got the Dirt Kings Tour to tackle, don't you?
Yeah, it's a few weeks that we're taking off. The Dirt Kings aren't running for the next handful of weeks, so we've got a couple weeks where we're going to travel, get back on the road like we had done in the past, see what happens.
So I looked up some stats, and there's a long list of tracks and series you've raced with. How long have you been racing a dirt late model? I know we've seen you locally, but you've done quite a bit nationally.
We started in 2000, 2002. We went on the road, raced with Northern All-Stars, hit the UMP series all over Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, even as far up as Canada, down to Speed Weeks in Florida. I mean, we've been all over. I don't even know if I can put a number. I do know it's over 120, 140 racetracks that I've been to that I've physically raced at. So we've, had our fun traveling, and now we're keeping it more local this year. We'll see what happens.
getting some national help as well. I see that you had your chassis in Tennessee recently. I follow you guys on Facebook. It's neat to see how you guys are like, we got to get ready for these guys. This is no slouch of a business you're running for the Dirt Kings Tour. Your second season kind of back with them, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, we ended up taking off the last couple of weeks since we had a little issue down at Fairbury. You try and replay that in your head hundreds of times. I don't even know what happened. You try and plan what the start of the race should be when you're sitting on the outside front row. It did not go as planned, but we're back at it again. So
yeah. Is it August 14th at the Prairie? Is that the next one, Sun Prairie?
Yep, Sun Prairie. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I hope they prep the track just like they did the last time we were there. So that'll be fun.
Let's bring in Tony Zeider. He knows a little bit about race promotion, racing at the highest level, and really anything around here. Tony, you've had a hand in, whether it be across the street at the mile on an ASA sponsorship or owning dirt late model cars that have raced across the country. This is fun to have you on as we kind of look at the family and looking back on a long career for you as well.
Well, I go back to the 70s, and one day myself and my brother actually had a idea of buying a speedway. And that was the dumbest thing in the world we did.
It was Capital Speedway, and you bought it.
We bought it from Freddie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Converted it and got it going, finally making money. And then two guys out of the clear blue sky, our track was not for sale, came to us and they wanted to buy it. So we sold it. Unfortunately, we wish you didn't. Hindsight's always 20/20. Good tracks are dying off today. Good dirt tracks are disappearing left and right. So we do love racing. My heart's in dirt. The money aspect is in asphalt.
Gotcha. There's some big money shows, though, that you guys get to go play with. If you want to chase down, as you know, you can travel. You guys travel 10, 12 hours, not a big deal to go to a race if somebody else rains out or it fits your schedule.
Well, our plans are to go to the World 100.
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah. We're going to the World 100. We should be there. And based on how the new chassis has been working, I think he'll do real well. I think we've had some real bad breaks, been in the wrong spot at the wrong time. However, he's a very good racer, and he's pretty doggone fast.
And Jamie, when it comes to racing, you went and sought out a chassis. A lot of guys have this one or this one or this one, but you guys said, we're going to run one we've been watching. Talked to Mikey Kalinowski, your chief wrench, and he said, we go to Florida, we watch what they're doing, and this is something you guys have done for years, even when you weren't racing all the time up here in the upper Midwest. A lot goes into that to pick the right moments and get fresh every now and then on the chassis. Tell us more about how you guys go about it.
Well, when you're running, especially local, you don't want to run on the same thing as everyone else. That's one of our biggest things. We try and find something different. We were fortunate enough to land us a nice Team Zero car.
That'd be the Scott Bloomquist Team Zero, just if you didn't need to know. He's won a few races. That's got to be a good resource for you guys.
Well, it's good, except now it's all on the driver. Because I know the car has what it takes.
Okay. You're hanging right in there, though. Come on now.
We're doing okay. This year we've had, like you said, not the best luck. We started running down, in Illinois. I mean, we were, that's where we have fun. I mean, I know a lot of people. We race with a lot of those guys, and actually, believe it or not, the Dirt King series. I mean, I ran last year, but for the most part, those are new tracks to us. I didn't really run in Wisconsin when I was traveling, so.
A great point. I mean, you were probably here and south from Milwaukee, and a lot of those tracks are north in Wisconsin.
Yep. Our probably minimum travel was about 3.5 hours south. Everything was south, and everything north was always Wissota, and so we never had the opportunity to run when we were running UMP. So now we're hitting the more local tracks, even though some of those ones up north are more 4 hours away. So it's still a little bit of a travel, but we wanted to keep it local. I gotta give a shout out to the Dirt Kings. I mean, Jason and his wife Sandy, they do an amazing job running that series. And so we figured 22 we were going to run the series with them, and I do like that they have some off weeks so we can kind of play a little bit somewhere else.
Yeah.
So.
And Tony, how about your business? You've been around a long time. It's a family tradition to stay busy all the time. Tell us about American Foundation Specialists.
Well, it starts way back in 1947 with my dad. I came aboard after high school and took over in the late 90s. And now my son has taken over from me. I tried to retire, and that worked out fairly well till one day Mike Kalinowski and Jamie came down and said, "Hey, Dad, we can maybe buy a Bloomquist car. Can we go back and go racing big time?" Well, I'm still working right now.
It's their fault.
75 years of age, but if it wouldn't be for Mike Kalinowski doing all the hard work on his car, we would not be racing.
And does your son get any sort of residuals from the commercial that we just saw on our show, American Foundation Specialist? There's a guy at the end wearing a hard hat and some safety goggles, and he gives you that smile at the end. I think he's sitting between us here, Tony. Is he getting some residuals off of this?
He wants to sign everybody's contract.
As long as they pay them, right?
That's right. Just pay money. You need that to keep the race team going.
That's got to be a balance for you, too, as well, Jamie. There's a lot of work going on during the week to go racing on the weekends or midweek sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, it takes a lot to go racing. We have to make sure everything's ready at work first. Got to make money before we can spend it. And, I think this week, I believe, is the first week that we're actually I'm leaving Thursday morning to run down at Macon, Illinois.
Okay.
Speedway, so that'll be a Summer Nationals race. And so I'm off Thursday and Friday from work, so I got to make sure everything's done tomorrow.
So that's usually the Zyder way, work 50 hours in 3 days to make up for the fact you won't be there Thursday and Friday, right?
But he races 3 nights this weekend.
Yeah.
You're racing at Macon? Where else on the tour?
And then we're going to go to Farmer City on Friday, and then Saturday we're going to Fairbury. So we got 3 nights of racing this week.
And I've been to Macon. I was actually at a Lucas Oil Power Ride National Midget League race. It was awesome. They were going 2 and 3 wide. Macon, however, is about the size of this table. How do you get late models around there? And I heard they go 3 wide with no problem. My goodness, that little joint can put on a show.
It's sometimes a challenge, but like I said, we run with those guys, and we can run side by side with them for many laps and never touch, believe it or not. And everybody looks at you like, how do you come back with a straight car running Macon? But everybody, you respect everybody, and racing happens. Things can happen, of course, but we like it. There's a big fan base down there. When we have a good time. We've been down there. I almost call it my home track.
Yeah.
Because that's where I race the majority of my late model, career down there. So
it's a great joint.
It was always in the middle of something. So.
And Tony, how about you? You go to the track much? Are you going as many trips as they take?
I end up going to about 50% of the races that he goes to. I pick and choose. This past week, I went with him. We went up to Seymour, and the thing is that all these tracks are totally different. Where he's running at, the car's doing extremely well. The car is all together. Mike will handle it. We'll be ready for 3 races back to back, I hope.
Mike's here tonight getting fueled up on the Polly's Pizza. That's a good thing.
That's it.
Get him a little time off and then put him right back in the shop. The car looks race ready, though. It's brand spanking, isn't it?
Yes.
Since you got it updated.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we basically just put a body on last week. Ran it on Friday and kept it in one piece.
Looks
so
great.
We should be good for 3 more days.
Looks great. Tony, thanks for your involvement on our show. Thanks for your continued involvement since the 70s in racing. It's been great to see you still around and having a smile on your face, knowing your kid's doing a great job, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm very proud of him. And regardless of how he does at the track, he's a good sportsman.
I still have to come back to work on Monday. That's I think where he's trying to get
I just make sure that he comes back to work on Monday.
An American Foundation Specialist. Anybody else you want to thank or recognize, Jamie, for your involvement this year, racing as much as you do?
Yeah, I have a couple sponsors, Star Trucking, JJ Enterprises, Long Shots. I got Amsoil, it helps me out a little bit, and Pro Power Racing Engines. So, obviously my crew, got Mike Kalinowski, Anthony Itchkowski.
Itch! We need an itch.
He's when he can make it. He's not able to make it every week, but when he's there, obviously anybody that comes with you is always a big help. Got Jim
don't forget
Stock.
Big Jim.
Yep, got Big Jim. Obviously, I got a couple other guys, that helped me out as far as, but they have other teams or whatever. I got Jeff Bodendorfer Jr. and Senior, Joel Olowski, and my junior crew, Cammie and Roy. I always have.
That's cool.
But everybody that helps out, obviously, Thanks to everybody that helps me. If it's financially or, just hands-on or whatnot, it all helps. A lot of times Mike and I are leaving this 3-day weekend, we're leaving by ourselves. So
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work for two guys.
Yeah.
At least it's the same. A few weeks ago we ran a couple different series, so we had to change tires in between. This one, at least it's UMP, so we don't have that part of the physical work to do.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
Well, just remember, we got thousands of listeners right now.
Yep.
Anybody got any time off between Thursday and Sunday? Please call.
It's a
427-1000.
That's the number. That's the number. And you know what? You get to ride in a nice, comfy seat. You might even get to nap a little bit in between working 12-hour days at the racetrack.
And we'll feed you every once in a while.
Yeah, at least maybe once a day. What do you think?
Maybe twice.
Twice a day. All right. It's been fun having you guys on. It's been fun having you involved. We want you back on, too. I want to say for Jamie Zeider and Tony Zeider. They're racing this weekend. UMP Racing in Illinois. Guys, thanks for coming on the show and your support with American Foundation Specialists. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Make sure you sign our Bob Trado sign right our backdrop as well. We've got Logan Julian in the house. We got Steve Zocchi in the house. We're still talking racing on the Racing Roundup Show. It's what we do. It's what we have. It's what we enjoy doing. We're going to tell you right now, we have Bill Holland involved with In the Groove. We've got a segment each week that Bill puts together for us. He travels all over the state of Wisconsin, and last weekend he was pretty busy, and it was some really cool tribute races that he got to cover. Here's this week's installment of Bill Holland's In the Groove. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the Groove at State Park Speedway, where the racing history goes back to the 1950s. Significant because we have racers, third-generation drivers, whose family history goes back as far or almost as far, and they're a big part of the racing today. Meet Race Hayes, driver of the 02 Super Late Model, carrying the same number his father and grandfather drove to championships here at State Park Speedway.
I think I got a little bit of both. My grandpa, he's definitely, I wouldn't say a rough racer, but he's definitely, in that era of racing, they race pretty hard, And my dad raced pretty hard, too, and I like to race hard, too.
Dylan Mackesy is another third-generation driver whose family's racing history at State Park goes back more than a half-century.
It means a lot, because there's a lot of people that even come up to me and talk about when Grandpa used to race, and my dad and Mark. It feels special to be at home where my family has raced out here for almost 55 years.
Another driver with family history is Travis Vohm, yet another third-generation racer whose family was competing here when State Park Speedway opened.
Would be my grandpa's brother started racing here when it was dirt. Then it just, brothers and uncles and cousins and my dad, and I couldn't even probably count how many of us have ran here.
On a memorial night honoring longtime racing supporter Jerome Brickner, it's Jerry Brickner IV taking the Super Late Model feature in a storybook finish.
Again, we have all our employees here. Like I said, my sister sang the national anthem. A lot of the, basically all the Brickner, my family on the Brickner side came to watch me too, and they don't make it to very many races, and they had this one marked on the calendar, so they picked a good one to come to.
Friday night, the action moves to Golden Sands Speedway, where promoter Cody Smiley has added more dates in 2022 for the Pro Late Models.
You go from 10-inch tires down to 8-inch tires, a little bit different with the shocks, and then you can have some different motor combinations, but essentially, it's a late model. It really is. It wouldn't take much for those guys to bolt on 10-inch tires, bolt on some different shocks, and come race Super Lates with us.
Lodi's Stephen Mankey won the Pro Late Model Triple Crown here last year.
It's a pretty good deal they got going on right now, going from a Triple Crown last year to a full-blown season this year with, I believe, 6 races. But I think it's bringing a lot more guys up here, having more races, and it's just kind of a good place for everybody to start.
The field includes veterans like Friendship Wisconsin's Ted Griffith, more than 60 years young.
Well, I'm hoping to get better so I have some more fun. At first it was fun just to be here, but then you get tired of running around the back, so I want to get better, so we'll see what happens.
The oldest car in the field, a 1986 left-hander chassis, is wheeled by the youngest driver, 14-year-old Kendrick Cryer of Wisconsin Dells.
Well, it's a crazy story. Brady Bruce owns this car, but I go out and drive it and give input, but it's pretty cool to have the opportunity to do this. Got my mom and dad, Ray and Joan, the Bill family. Y'all give me a great opportunity for this. This is amazing.
Fast qualifying honors go to Reedsburg's Brady Bill, who enters the night leading the point standings.
The last 3 weeks we really come a long ways. We took a win here and then got our first top 5 up at the Dells, so see what we can do tonight. Hopefully bring home another checkered flag.
Feature race action has Wyatt Lemmers in the 59 and Michael Godursky in the 90 on the front row, leading the field to green. Ted Griffith, the veteran out of Friendship, Wisconsin, takes the early lead as Godursky goes high in the corner. Lemmers back out front, now trying to hold off the challenge from Ronnie Osborne in the black 19 car. Osborne's in his first season in a pro late model after having a lot of success racing 4-cylinder cars. It's Osborne taking over the lead, and he's not likely to give it up. Coming to the finish, it's Ronnie Osborne with his very first win in a pro late model.
Hopefully we can carry this momentum through the rest of the year. We had a rough Saturday last week, got the nose tore off, so put the car back together, scrambling this week to get it done to come up here, and well, it turned out to be all right, I guess.
On Saturday, the action moves over to Marshfield Motor Speedway, where the Central Wisconsin Racing Association late models are here for twin features. CWRA cars run on a hard compound recap tire, trading speed and traction for durability and cost savings, according to longtime CWRA competitor Mark Mackesy of Wausau.
The Hoosier, you could, that's a 2 to 4 tire week deal. My tire bill with a Hoosier, just running as little bit that I do, is about $5,000. And with the cap, it'll probably be somewhere around $500. So, you're not going to hold zero off. That's a lot of money.
We're green in the first CWRA feature. Jesse Bernhagen in the 32 and Greg Matthews in the 8 car up front leading the way. Bernhagen won the CWRA opener at Dells Raceway Park 4 weeks ago. We'll see if anyone can chase him down tonight. And we're not green for long. Rob Christian spun in the 64, and the skies have opened. It's raining and raining hard. After the rain delay, we're back to green. Fox Valley driver Brazen Bennett in the 119 chasing Mark Eswine in the 71 car. It's Eswine taking the first feature.
Well, everything kind of fell into my lap. The holes opened up where they needed to. Guys weren't stuck side by side. I was either to get the bottom lane or the outside lane, which the car worked good in both lanes, so it made it look pretty easy, and it actually was. The car drove real good tonight.
In the second feature, more of the same. It's Eswine, the Wisconsin Rapids driver, out front, leading a very determined Corey Jankowski in the 31 car. We're on the last lap, and this isn't a camera malfunction. The lights are out. Eswine with fast qualifying time and 2 feature wins on this very unusual night.
Well, after 30 plus years of racing, I don't remember ever having the lights go out. I didn't really know what to do other than just coast a little bit and hope nobody ran me over from behind. So it was definitely an eventful night. Cars loaded all in one piece. I don't know if I ever won 2 features in one day.
What a way to wrap up our 3-night swing through north central Wisconsin racetracks. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes our program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thank you, Bill. Hope you enjoyed that segment of In the Groove with Bill Holland. We're going to take a commercial break. When we get back, we're talking to Logan Julian and his dad, Brian. Dean Strom is also on the way, and Steve Zocchi's with us as well, talking about the Miller Vintage IndyCar Meet coming this Friday and Saturday to the Milwaukee Mile. We're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Come on down and join the racing crowd.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the NAPA Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Volansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
D&H Sales and Service is Sheboygan County's largest steel and outdoor power equipment dealer. Since 2003, owner Brad Dahmer and D&H Sales and Service strives to offer you the best brands with leading manufacturers such as Aaron's, Gravely, Ferris, Simplicity, Snapper, Steel, Wright, and Toro. Each brand is backed by a stocked parts department and the highest level of customer service. All of our inventory is online at SheboyganPowerCenter.com, and when you buy from D&H, you will be shown how to safely operate your ready-to-use equipment. We have over 80 feet of steel display, and we have over 75 pieces of steel equipment in stock. D&H is Sheboygan County's only Briggs & Stratton Diamond dealer with a master service technician and factory-trained service department. D&H Sales and Service is conveniently located off of I-43 in Sheboygan and is an authorized service and warranty center for most brands on the market. We'll service almost any brand of small engine equipment. Call us for details at 920-458-1865. D&H Sales and Service also offers pickup and delivery to Sheboygan, Manitowoc, and Ozaukee counties. Search D&H Sales and Service on Facebook or log on to SheboyganPowerCenter.com today.
And we're back on the Racing Roundup Show. I want to thank D&H Sales and Service for their sponsorship. Last Friday, we were live in Victory Lane at Road America on our D'Angelo's Construction Roadshow. Thanks to them and Lamers Motor Racing for their sponsorship of our roadshow. Check things out in Sheboygan. It's worth your trip. It's right after I-43. Next week, Tuesday, and the following Tuesday, 2 more D'Angelo's Construction Roadshows. Next Tuesday, join us at Slinger Speedway. We're live at the front gate at 5:15 p.m. Showtime 5:15 p.m. for our Slinger Nationals pre-race show at the front gate at Slinger Super Speedway. We're talking to Midwest Truck Series and Super Late Model Racers at the Slinger Nationals that are racing that night. Thanks to our sponsorship with D'Angelo's Construction, Oak Creek Automotive, and Obermeyer's 41 Auto Body in Allenton. The Tuesday after, July 19th, we have flyers here for you. We'll put information on our website. It's all there, racingroundupshow.com. Tuesday, July 19th, we're live in McWanago at the Greenfield Gallery Car Show at the historic Heaven City property at 278th and National in McWanago. Information is on our website on our schedule page, racingroundupshow.com. The Midwest Truck Series is back in action this Tuesday night as part of the Slinger Nationals. That's part 2 of the Outdoor Living by Belgard duel. The Midwest Truck Series is supported by Pathfinder Chassis and Wares Machine. Check out MidwestTruckSeries.com. And if you're wondering why there's yellow boxes behind me, it's a Sprecher root beer case. You can buy them exclusively at Menards stores. Buy a case between now and Sunday, August 28th, when the ARCA Menards Series races at the Milwaukee Mile. For every case you buy, if you're watching this in Indiana, watching this in Michigan, watching this in Minnesota, go to Menards, buy a specially marked case of Sprecher Gourmet Root Beer. That craft soda will get you a race ticket. Every case is a race ticket. So buy it at Menards. I bought mine for less than $20. Race tickets are $20. You get a case of root beer at Menards, and every case you buy, bring that receipt to the Milwaukee Mile ticket office or the Fair Park office during the weekdays. Redeem every case you buy by proof of purchase for a race ticket to the Sunday, August 28th, Sprecher 150 here at the Milwaukee Mile, right across the street here from Pauley. So looking forward to seeing you at that race. More to come as we move on through this busy July into August. A lot of things are going on. We're glad to have this driver nailed down. He's been busy, racing all over the place. Let's welcome in the driver of that beautiful number 85 micro sprint out front, Logan Julian, and his dad, Brian. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Logan, you've been racing a ton Tell us about this beautiful car sitting out front and how well you've been racing at Tomahawk Raceway, which is not too close to here, but your home track, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we've been just trying to run out our last season here, our third year up at Tomahawk. Just trying to get ahead in points and keep going, I guess.
So Oconomowoc, Wisconsin to Tomahawk, how did that transition go, and what made that place your destination to win now 2 track championships, going for your 3rd?
Well, at the time I was 11 when we started, so that was the only place that really let me run a micro sprint.
Aha.
And that was kind of the next step that we were looking towards, so that was the only spot we could go, so we just went there.
So I talked to your dad, Brian. I've known him since his Badger Car Club days, living on Oconomowoc, right down the street from the racetrack. Actually, the track's in Dousman, the same exit off I-94. So your involvement, Brian, you've gotten involved in racing yourself, and now you got your sons involved. And this has to be pretty cool going from karts to all over the place with this micro and doing so well at Tomahawk and other racetracks.
It really is. It's been a nice transition from the go-karts, getting up into the sprint cars and kind of developing his skills and developing his brand and kind of moving forward with his racing career here.
And you guys did the biggest gauge there is. The Tulsa Shootout this year had 1,400 entries. It's the 3rd straight year, I think, over 1,000 entries. It's all micros, 6 classes. The week, 2 weeks before the Chili Bowl, in the same racetrack, in the same building. You guys have raced that in the last couple of years. That's a big endeavor to say, I think we're ready for the year, and it's in January, so we have to be ready to go against everybody, including like Kyle Busch and his kid and stuff, people like that.
Yeah, Tulsa Shootout's kind of the hub for micro sprint racing. That's the go-to race every year. The classes average 450 entries apiece. We were lucky enough this year, 2 of our classes, we got to race the B main on Saturday.
That's a big deal.
So we made it all the way to Saturday to the show. Didn't make the A, but came pretty close considering what we're racing against. We were pretty happy with that.
Has anyone from Tomahawk Speedway gone as well? Or are you guys kind of your own representation of, hey, we're up here racing micros against guys that race at Oklahoma and California with micros that seem to be the predominant hotbeds for micro racing?
We do have another family that runs with us, the Zimmermans. Jake Zimmerman runs a 600 sprint also. Kind of followed the same type of path Logan has. They've gone out the last couple of years and done pretty well also.
Logan, as a driver, what's it like when you know you might make the next feature by passing one car and the only heat race you get to race on a Tuesday to lock you in on things? How much pressure does that put on you that early in the season? Or do you thrive on that, or are you a big ball of nerves?
I don't really think it's too stressful or nerve-wracking just because of like where we're racing. We're racing on a big 3rd mile back up at Tomahawk, and then down there it's really small tracks, so we don't really run on those much. So it's kind of hard to gauge off of different things. But like Dad said, we use the Zimmermans just to kind of see where we're out compared to where they're at, and usually we do pretty good. But yeah, like I said, it's just not really what we run. So.
Talking to Logan, Julian, his dad, Brian. Julian Motorsports, they brought their micro sprint here, but you guys have expanded the garage again, haven't you? You got a 360 sprint car sitting there, Logan. Whose idea was that?
Well, I mean, kind of both of ours. We saw the micros, and we just decided that was the next step, I guess. Just going to do a 360. So yeah, we've just been building that, getting laps in it. And
You're 13 now. You're getting laps in a 360. How and where are you guys getting laps?
Up at Tomahawk, they do a freshly groomed practice Friday night for $20. So that's a really good deal. We're just knocking laps off. I think we have about 100 laps up there right now. So.
And you've done that with your micro sprint as well, as often as your schedule can allow, right? Going up Fridays to race Saturdays?
Mm-hmm.
The 3.5-hour ride. It's got to be pretty short ride if you're thinking about, man, I can put my 360 on the racetrack. Hey, I can get my micro sprint dialed in. We just changed something. That would be kind of a comforting thing, getting up there and getting some track time before you go racing.
Yeah, it's just going like the drive 3.5 hours. We kind of like going up Friday so we can test, hang out. Andy, the track owner, he does fish fry Friday night. So we have fish, and then we just wake up, work on the cars, and race Saturday, and then go home Sunday.
That's perfect. And Brian, you obviously are probably thankful you don't have to cook the whole time you're there. Friday night fish fry sounds pretty nice. It's got to be neat knowing you guys get to do this together as a family and get those laps in and get into the 360 world. I think I saw when you guys fired it off, you had Wayne Majeski hanging out with you guys. That's another great racing family to tie into at that level.
Yeah, Wayne and his dad Bill have helped us a lot. They spent a lot of time in the shop with us. This is actually one of Wayne's 360 cars that we bought. So they've been a big supporter of ours getting this program up and running. We've leaned on the Vanderbooms quite a bit for knowledge. Kurt Davis, another big name in the...
He's won every race there is to win in 360s. He's the winningest guy in MSA, yeah.
He's a telephone call away for us. He's been super helpful. Everybody's really been open with trying to get us up to speed and help.
And Logan, because it's a track you know so well, how comfortable are you getting now with those 100 or so laps you've gotten in a 360 this year?
I feel pretty comfortable just being that we've been running on the same track for about 3 years now. I know a lot of stuff, what to do and what not to do. It's a different car, but still around the same concept. So I think it's pretty comfortable racing on the same track that we've been on for a while. So.
And you guys have won a ton when it comes to Badger Car Club racing, and you and your brother Dylan. And Brian, you were just telling me before we joined us on the air that you guys have a karting chance. We're in Las Vegas, Brian?
Yeah, we set up a program with Franklin Motorsports this year to do a one-off race out in Las Vegas for the Super Nationals.
That's the Super Nationals. That's like the Indy 500 of kart racing. Let's try it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So that'll be fun. That's something different that we've got on our schedule this year. We got offered an opportunity to go run the Chili Bowl in a midget this year. Haven't accepted it yet. Just kind of weighing our options if that's a good idea or not. And we'll just see, but it's kind of flattering, I guess, that somebody thinks highly enough of Logan to offer their car to him. So,
yeah, it's great. I mean, Mitchell Mose is racing a full-time engine now. He's a micro sprint guy that's been doing it a long time, but he had an opportunity to go racing. So those things can happen. Logan, when you look at those opportunities, I'm sure you're like, okay, how do we maximize this? How do we get there? How do we get in front of these people? It's got to be a lot of work for you going to school and at just 13 going, I need to get these chances, but it's been a process, hasn't it? Getting the marketing stuff going.
Yeah, I look at some of those guys and see what they've done, and I feel like, I want to be there, I should be there, but it's just hard work, and I just have to just keep going with my dad, and we just have to keep working together and just trying to get up there.
Do you have it lined up yet? Are you going to run any 360 races this year? You got the huge karting opportunity with Franklin Motorsports. What else is kind of loading on to 2022, maybe for even looking to next year?
Well, next year our main goal is probably just to run every race of the MSA 360 series. They might let us run a few races at the end of this year, but we're not really going to push it just because, more laps to practice is better for our first race.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps running the last few races to get that rookie stuff off, just being around other cars and all that stuff, not having to start in the back, just stuff like that.
And the routine's going to be way different for you guys. Brian, it's not a 3.5-hour drive after a thrash to get work done at Julian Shade to get there. Now you can be there like an hour and a half. What are you guys going to do with yourselves? You're going to have like an hour and a half of going, now what? It's not a 3.5-hour drive anymore to go racing. That's going to be kind of fun for you going to MSA racing.
Well, races are won in the shop, so you know where I'll be.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Who's in that shop working with you? How much is Logan doing on the car?
He has really come a long way in the last 2 years with his knowledge on his cars. I feel pretty comfortable with him pulling the entire car apart and putting it back together. Pretty much he can take his 600, everything except putting the final setup in the car, he handles in the shop during the week.
And how about your racecraft in terms of what you want in the car? You're talking to your dad all the time, obviously, but how have you thought you've progressed in your knowledge to what to put on the car and what you feel, what you want?
I think, just helping out in the shop really benefits us just because I have more knowledge of what I want to say, like after a run. If something's wrong, I can say it and then maybe give a suggestion what we should change, or maybe just change it. It depends. But yeah.
And then at some point you got to race what you got, whether it be mud clods the wheel or something. It's just a matter of getting on it and after it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's just work with what you got, and then just, I guess after the race, just I don't know.
Just keep working at it, right? Absolutely. Yeah. What other sponsors and what are the other folks that are involved with Logan and your racing with Julian Motorsports?
One of our main ones are Simpson Race Products. We've got it on their team pretty much just for I don't know.
Great to have their support. I mean, having top-notch equipment's a big deal.
Yeah, Simpson Race Products. That's one of the pretty big ones. One that we're really happy for. We found that out at the PRI show, so we get their discount, so that's good.
Good.
Just a ton of other stuff like HRP for our 360 stuff. We get their wings. We get factory cane shocks, D1 for our chassis. The Micro Sprint, they build awesome chassis. It kind of helps us for winning all the time. So yeah, it's all those guys that help us win, just make it possible.
And Brian, who else is involved with Julian Motorsports? Getting that big toter home with the trailer behind it going up and down the road. Who else is all involved?
There's a lot of good product support that we have right now. Like you said, Factory Cane has been a real big supporter of ours, building shocks and offering advice. Maxim Chassis has helped out quite a bit with the 360 program so far. Barry Moss Motorsports has been working on our engines for us. MPM Performance out of California has built all of our 600 motors the last couple of years. They've been a big supporter as well. And like you said, Simpson Race Products is just a great safety program that they have there, and real happy that they came on board with us this year.
Sounds great. Sounds like you have a lot going in the right direction. Where are you racing next?
I mean, all over the place here, all the dirt tracks like Plymouth, Sun Prairie, Dodge County, maybe up at Tomahawk, depends what Kurt does.
Yeah.
Wilmot, just all those tracks that MSA runs at.
Looking forward to it. Where are you at in the points right now at Tomahawk in the 600 micro?
Currently, we're leading by a decent margin, which we want to keep it that way, but I guess you never really know.
And it builds that resume. I mean, it's a track you know, and you guys are performing well. It's going to be kind of cool to see how the season plays out for you. Where can we follow you on social media to find out more with what you're doing?
My Instagram, Dad's Facebook, he posts a lot of stuff about that.
At Logan Julian Racing on Facebook. I got it written down here. Instagram, Julian.Logan. And you got a website, julianracing.com. That's a lot of places to find you. I'm glad we got a chance to sit down with you here and do this for a few minutes between your busy schedule.
Yeah, it's been a couple years, I think, since we've come on with you.
It has, and you guys are doing really well. Going after a third championship at Tomahawk Speedway. How about I say for the Julians joining us here, Logan and his dad, Brian. Guys, thanks for a few minutes of your time. We wish
Thanks
you
a lot.
well.
I really appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for coming down to the Racing Roundup Show. It's why we do this show. We want to get people involved and engaged and getting the idea that 13-year-old racers like Logan have been on since, well, a couple times already since he's only 13, and looking forward to catching up with you guys again. Thanks again for coming down to the show. Make sure you sign our backdrop as well. The Bob Trado Sign Writer backdrop. That's my brother Bob's company. Guys, thanks a bunch. We're going to have an opportunity to tell you more about what's going on in the world of short track racing in a moment. We want to tell you that next Tuesday night, we're live at the Slinger Nationals. That is the road show that starts at 5:15. 5:15 is when the road show starts next Tuesday at the front gate of the Slinger Nationals, the Wabam Slinger Nationals, presented by Cobblestone Hotels and Pepperjack Kennels, a sponsor of Derek Thorne's car. Derek's coming. We've got William Byron Racing. We've got Matt Kenseth going after his, 8th or 9th Slinger Nationals title. Dean will get me squared on that in a minute. We also know we'll be at the front gate talking to a bunch of Midwest Truck Series drivers as well. We'll start our show at 5:15 next Tuesday. 2 Tuesdays from now, we're at a racing show. I've got a flyer right here, Greenfield Gallery Car Show at Heaven City Property. The address is S91 West 27850 Highway ES. That's 278th and National in Mugwanago. We have these flyers if you want to grab one from us here, or look for it on our Facebook page or on our website. It's July 19th. The car show is at Greenfield Gallery. Another great car show. That starts at 5. Our show in 2 weeks' time on the road will start at 6 p.m. at Heaven City, the Greenfield Gallery Car Show, 6 p.m. broadcast on July 19th. We now bring in one of the busiest talkers in racing. When he's not at a NASCAR track, he's running around Slinger making everybody look really good. Dean Strom, welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Jim. Good to see you, too.
Yeah, man.
Bonafide Security Solutions brings us the Short Track Report. Camera and alarm systems for your home or business, program card access, and gun safes. It's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online, bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value. Anderson's Maple Syrup sponsored Bill Baylog returned to race in Wisconsin and raced off to victory in the Road America Challenge at the Plymouth Dirt Track on Thursday night. It was victory in the IRA Sprints competition, an event that included NASCAR driver Chase Briscoe, who finished 7th in the A main. Then Sunday night, Baylog rolled into victory lane in Bill Ecker's Midget at Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie. Fast qualifier Brandon Welty finished 2nd, and it was a 2nd straight top 5 finish for a friend of the show, Derek Dorr. So congrats to Derek. MSA 360 Sprints, Jim, they were in Plymouth in action as well. Lance Fosbender scored his first win in nearly 3 years after a spirited battle with former Plymouth champ Kurt Davis. I was watching. You guys were having a blast last Tuesday night.
Yeah, we were.
Live roadshow at Wilmot Raceway before the racing action started. CK Contractors, LLC.com brings us the happenings at Wilmot Raceway. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, retention pond building, and more. Mike Simons picked up his 3rd modified trophy of the season. They raced 3 and 4 wide, the banded feature, with John Cole coming out ahead. And defending Wisconsin Wingless Sprints champ Ryan Marshall became the 4th different division winner in 5 nights of racing on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. Wisconsin Wingless and IRA Lightning Sprints join the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Wilmot Raceway this Saturday night. More info can be found at wilmotraceway.com. It's a Logan's Heroes theme race night this Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. UMA Pro late models, Asphalt Modifieds, Bandits, Legends, and Bandoleros. For details, including a 2-for-1 admission tickets if you buy them in advance, DellsRacewayPark.com. Friday night, Madison International Speedway. This coming Friday night, it'll be Kids Night. Kids 11 and under admitted free. They'll have a kids candy scramble and fan autographs. More details can be found about Friday night's NASCAR Weekly Racing Series program at misracing.com. Heard you talking, Jim, about Slinger Super Speedway. Sunday
You were there.
Night.
You were there. Fireworks.
We had a dandy, Jacob Nottestead, a guest on the show a few weeks back. He has now won a super late model race at the Slinger Super Speedway, his first, and he has won, since we had him on the show, a ARCA Midwest Tour race at Jefferson Speedway. This young man, Quickie Driver Development Program, is getting it done. He edged out R.J. Braun in just a classic on Sunday night. Nottestead led the entire distance, but R.J. tracked him down and dogged them the final few circuits. They were getting into each other. They were sideways. They were. It was just really good racing those last few laps. As we said, the first for Nottestead at Slinger in a super. Ryan Gutnick picked up his 3rd pro late model win in a row over Ryan Crane and Zach Prunty. And we talked about it, the 43rd annual Slinger Nationals next week, Tuesday night. We're going to be there. $20,000 to the winner. Midwest Truck Series also on the card at Slinger. 2 nights of World of Outlaw Sprint Car action this past weekend at Cedar Lake Speedway. Take your ticket to the window if you had this trifecta, or would it be the Quinella? Jacob Allen and Brock Zierfoss, the winners of the 2 nights at Cedar Lake Speedway.
And Scotty Thiel.
Our friend Scotty Thiel,
yeah.
2 top 10 finishes in the 2 nights of racing. A 6th and an 8th. He did a great job.
Great.
Lucas Oil late model point leader Brandon Shepard led just about every lap to notch the win and snatched the $30,000 paycheck. Zanesville, Ohio, the facility that is run by Donnie Moran and his family. And Jim, on Saturday night, I'm going to be at Grundy County Speedway in Morris, Illinois, for the ARCA Midwest Tour. Rod Baker Ford 100, covering it for MidwestTour.tv. If you can't be there, go to MidwestTour.tv, and we'll keep you up to speed with what's going on there at the Wayne Carter Classic. Where are we going to catch you this weekend?
This Friday, I'll be at the ARCA Menard Series race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It's an ARCA Trucks doubleheader weekend, so I'm looking forward to being part of that with the Fox Sports 1 crew.
Cool. Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be great.
Yeah.
Lots going on in the world of racing. Dean, thanks a lot for being here, and we'll see you next Tuesday. We might not be able to hear you, though, because you got a lot going on. There's a big Monday night party at Slinger.
You coming out to the Monday night party?
I cannot make that. I know. You have to do it without me. You'll have to dance with that tequila in you. You and Derek Thorne, do it upright, and I want to see pictures. We're taking a commercial break, back with Steve Zocchi talking about the Miller Meet. That's the vintage IndyCar meet at the Milwaukee Mile this Friday and Saturday. It's going to be exciting. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundup.show.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's Escorted NASCAR Racing Tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you.
Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
Paulie's Pub and Eatery at 81st Street and Greenfield Avenue serves up Milwaukee's best pizza, outstanding wings, and a great pub menu. Paulie's Kitchen is open late every night with great nightly specials. Paulie's has a shuttle bus to all Brewers games. Party on the patio this summer with Paulie. Paulie's has 18 flat-screen TVs to catch all of your favorite sports. Stay up to speed and download Paulie's mobile app and receive a free 22-ounce tap beer. Paulie'sPubandEatery.com. Have you partied with Paulie?
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need three things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Great. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. I'm excited to tell you we got more on this program, and next Tuesday we're live at the front gate at Slinger Super Speedway, a D'Angelo's Construction Roadshow brought to you by Oak Creek Automotive and Bob Myers 41 Auto Body in Allenton. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be live at 5:15 next Tuesday for that one. Right now we're still hanging out with you because we got a lot to talk about. We're right across the street from the Milwaukee Mile. Let's bring in Steve Zocchi, the PR man in charge of the Miller Club Vintage IndyCar Meet, the 27th annual Harry Miller Club Vintage IndyCar Meet. Steve, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always a good time out here at Paulie's Pub, and once again, it's the time of year for race fans where we stick about 6 months of activities in 3 months.
I started laughing before you finished your sentence because I know exactly where you're going. But I like the idea that it's this Friday during the day and this Saturday during the day with the vintage Indy cars rolling history around the mile for 2 straight days this weekend.
Yeah, we did that a few years ago. We moved from a Saturday, Sunday to a Friday, Saturday to kind of give us a little bit for guys for towing. It's easier to tow in on a Thursday than it is necessarily for some of the guys that come through Chicago and that on a Friday for a Saturday, Sunday show. And also gives us a little wiggle room of having a rain day on Sunday if we would need it. But so far, I call it Dave Eline weather. As far as going back, I think we've only lost 1 hour of green flag time in the 27 years we've had the event.
Wow, and Dave Eline started this event. He was a fanatic. He had 9 Harry A. Miller built cars that had Miller engines, Miller chassis that ran the Indy 500. Some great history. This Friday and Saturday, no question, that will continue. Dana Meekum has certainly taken the reins and expanded and invited a lot more cars we may not have seen there before. If you've been there before, you need to go back this Friday and Saturday.
Well, and that's one of the things, for people that come out to the show, we have a lot of car owners and cars that have been there year after year, but every year we get some new cars. Case in point, Dana Meekum. Dana's on the road back to recovery. He had, unfortunately, a little medical problem this winter. He's recovered, and he's looking forward to being back at the event. And this year, his new car that he's bringing is a 1907 Renault Vanderbilt Cup Racer.
Wow.
That's certainly not something you see, on Bring a Trailer too often.
No, and honestly, 1907, those were really special cars because the Vanderbilt Cup was the big daddy. That was the biggest bragging right trophy there was at the turn of the century.
Yeah, and some of some of the listeners might not be aware. We actually had a Vanderbilt Cup here in 1912. And some people may see, 1912 Vanderbilt Cup, that was at the Milwaukee Mile. That was actually on the streets of Milwaukee and Wauwatosa, just north of present-day I-94. So roughly the track went from the east part of it was 35th Street, up Fond du Lac Avenue to North Avenue, up to 60th and back down again. And, at that time, that was pretty much as far as the streetcars went. So that's where they had to race.
Wow. Yeah, come on down where it ends, hop out. We got an auto race to put on. Automobile or auto carriage, I think they call it. Motorized carriage racing back in the day. But the cars themselves, I was kidding earlier, but in reality, there was a rule. If the engine in the Indy car was in the back, it was too new. Yes. I imagine there may be a few changes to that. However, that gives the idea of the rich history you can see and walk right up to and talk to the guys and gals that are part of what they bring. They are very passionate and proud. And and rolling with this history. These cars are amazing.
Yeah, cars eligible go up to 1965. They're all front engine cars. There's no rear engine
So
cars.
that is still the rule.
That's still the rule.
Okay.
In fact, when the club was first started, they didn't even allow roadsters. You had to have it was a straight, there were no offset cars were allowed. And then later they allowed offset cars. So even offset cars for Mr. Heline were a little bit, I don't know about that. So
that was probably 1955-ish, 53 or somewhere in there?
Correct,
So it was older than
correct.
that even. Okay.
So, and one of the cars is Gary Runyon, who was an Indianapolis businessman. He's bringing in Parnelli Jones's 1963 Roadster. Now you're thinking, well, that car is at the museum. Well, kind of. This is a car that was built, commissioned by Parnelli by Chris Paulson, who owned C&R Racing back in the day.
Yeah.
It was built about 1990. Just so happened I had dinner with Chris Paulson in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the car, and he says there's no more original components on his car and Parnelli's car than there is at the museum, because the car actually ran to 64. So there's actually, they were modifying cars and some of the things. The car down at the museum is magnificent, but this car it's spot on. It's a beautiful car, and it's Offenhauser powered.
You can walk up to these cars. You can talk to the mechanics. They can lift the hood for you. I have the good fortune, thanks to Steve, Tom Malloy brought his 1935 Miller to the Milwaukee Mile years ago, and I got to ride in it. The second seat's not that big. The first seat's not that big, and it was a treat, man. It was great to know those things can happen if you just show up on Friday and Saturday. What time do things go off on Friday, Steve?
Well, gates open at 8 a.m. and on-track activities start at 10 a.m. It's a $25 daily pit pass, but if you come in on Friday, it's good for both days.
Sounds great, and I have to ask, so the website to go to is what?
HarryMillerClub.com.
Okay.
And you can also, though, if you go through the tunnel, and at the top of the tunnel you'll see a blue tent, you can also purchase tickets, will call, whatever you want to call it, when you pull in. So you don't have to get tickets ahead of time. Come on in. Lenore and her sister will be more than happy to take care of you. But, you were mentioning about stories and that. One is a Joe Freeman's car. It's a 1953 Curtis 500A Chrysler powered. And for some of you might go, Chrysler, it was a Hemi. And this is, there's always politics in racing. And there was even politics in racing in the 1950s. This thing showed up at Indianapolis with a Hemi powered and was running as fast as the Offenhausers at about half the price. And all the Offenhauser owners were saying, I think we need a rule change on these stock block engines. And lo and behold, a rule change was made, and it just missed a race. So that, unfortunately, that's one of the crummy things about racing sometimes. And now also, when you see cars sandbagging and testing, now you know why.
That was probably the original time that the sandbag could have been used, but wasn't, and then you got told, hey, you have to do this, that, and that to make your car really super slow. You're holding up a copy of Automobilia magazine, Steve. What's that about? What do you have to are you contributing to that as well?
Yeah, Automobilia magazine is started a few years ago by Sharon in Florida. Fantastic magazine. I came on board earlier this year, and it's a really high quality magazine, but she puts a lot of work into it. I do all the auctions, and we'll do stories here and there. But it's a really neat, it kind of gives you an idea of what's out there. It might have something that you have and you're wondering, how much is this worth? Or I didn't even know that existed. I mean, it's funny when I'm going through auctions, seeing what items are being sold. There's stuff I didn't even know that was out there. So we include not only in the U.S., but we also include like in France and England, a lot of magnificent stuff out there that's being sold.
It's great to have you on the show. Unfortunately, we're running a little bit short on time. I do want to say I'm looking forward to this Friday and Saturday. If you can make it there, please do. Milwaukee Mile, the Harry A. Miller Club meet. It's going to be awesome. And I'm going to see you on Saturday, July 16th at Road America.
Yes.
The WeatherTech International Challenge with Brian Redmond is going to have a featured mark from Dan Gurney, All-American Racers. Our friend Jock Driesing posted out on Instagram today. 27 Indy cars will be there. Amongst anything, including the BMX bike that Jacques got a hold of, that Dan Gurney designed. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, what's cool about that is the Revs Institute are bringing up two Eagles themselves. They're bringing up the 1967. It's the car that Dan Gurney won the Belgian Grand Prix in 1967. The Eagles coming up here, as well as the 1975 Indianapolis 500 winner that Bobby Unser won. on lap 174 in the rain. That'll be up there too.
That's all at Road America. July 15, 16, 17, something like that. 15, 16, 17. RoadAmerica.com is the website for that. I'm just excited as all get out.
We kind of consider it a doubleheader. You got the Harry Miller meet one weekend, and then the vintage cars up at Road America the next weekend. Fantastic stuff.
It's great to have you involved. As our friend John Close said after you posted something on Facebook while coming on the show, he said it's great to know the passion continues. Thank you for sharing the vintage passion and everything you do, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and I always appreciate the support.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this program. We're going to tell you one thing. We'll be back here in 3 weeks' time to Polly's Pub and Eatery. We are going to take a short respite called Road Shows. Next Tuesday, we're live at the Neanderthal Construction Road Show is at Slinger Nationals front gate. 2 weeks, we're at Greenfield Gallery's Car Show. You're welcome. Come on down. Car show starts at 5. Car show, race car show. That starts at 5. Our show starts at 6 p.m. on the 19th. I want to tell you, I'm going back in time now. This coming Tuesday, we're live at 5:15 at the front gate at Slinger Super Speedway. All this information is on our website, racingroundupshow.com. I want to thank our guests. What a great time we had again tonight here at Polly's Pub and Eatery. Come on down. Polly says shuttles to the Brewer games. They had one tonight. They have it every time the Brewer game happens. Come on down and enjoy yourself at Polly's Pub and Eatery. We're back here in 3 weeks' time. Until next Tuesday, I want to say thanks to our friends Dave Schmalzer, Matt Rapina, Greg Lapine, Sam Trado, Sherry Prague, Dean Strom, Bruce, and Mark for all their support. Thank you guys for making this show possible. We're going to be back here next Tuesday on a road show setting, so join us at 5:15 next Tuesday. And until then, set your DVRs, support your local racing, and have at it, racers.
Thank you for joining us for the Racing Roundup Show. Like our show on Facebook, contact us via our website, racingroundupshow.com, and interact with us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, support your local racetrack, set your DVR, and have at it, racers.